everyone, and welcome to My Vow to My Liege. This is a Chinese-based visual novel where we play as a girl who is not pretending to be, she's disguised herself as a man so that she can become king and, not so that she's the king. But she's like a man. But she's not. Yeah, operational. Yeah, thanks. Bruh. Wait, what did that say? Do you agree and solemnly swear the terms are... I take this sacred vow with you too. Wait, can I look at the sacred vow again? Oh, no. Yeah, I take this sacred vow. I've read the terms and conditions. Thank you very much. In a time of myths and legends, under the mandate of heaven, King Wu overthrew the corrupt King Yu and started the Zhao dynasty of peace and prosperity. The good king secretly created the golden script to communicate with the gods and the demons. He took a sacred vow with the heavens. In exchange for the divine right to rule, his government would be one of virtue. Using the golden script, he carved his vow into a large bronze vessel, the Ding of Virtue. The vow and the ding were passed down through generations of kings until it became to the hands of the corrupt King Ping, who broke the vow and lost the ding. The secret existence of the golden script then came to light, and the peace and prosperity of the Zhao dynasty started to wane as the lands broke into smaller warring states. A time of chaos and turmoil had returned as countries prepared for yet another war. There's a shuffle button for my name. It does nothing. We're just gonna keep this since I don't think it would be respectful of me to change it. No, wait. Never mind. Let's do a little cringe. Just a little cringe. This is gonna be, of course, Bunny, the nickname that I assume will only be uttered by my close and, most exclusive of confidants. And then, hold on. And then we gotta look at the Chinese term for bunny. Okay. Doozy. I am a rabbit. Yes. Yes. I've decided to do this thing. It changed it back? Hello? I hope you can see this window because, if you guys can't... Alright, fine. We'll do it your way. They gave me the pretend option to change my name. I cannot actually. In a time of legends and land of war, the destiny of a great kingdom falls on the shoulders of a young girl. She is fated to ascend the throne of... Okay, goodbye. Her name? a lot of energy. Hello? Prologue. The darkening skies that foretell the coming of impending rain feel suffocating. An island shrouded in mist stands in the middle of Lake Tai. At the heart of this island on an altar stand two banners with faded golden lines. Around them stand a group of motionless priestesses on ground that has been tainted red with blood. Before a large rectangular bronze ding, the head priest and head priestess lead a liturgical procession headed by my royal father, Helu, and all members of his household, including my brothers and I. Everyone here is well aware that this is autumn's offering ceremony. That this autumn's offering ceremony is anything but usual. We will soon be executing the dragon god that our country has worshipped for centuries. Generations, not centuries, but yes, also centuries. Fu Chai, my third brother, who is standing next to me, keeps shivering with fear. Even though he is a year older than me, his lack of courage is alarming. I clench the jade fish amulet that Yi Gang lent to me for protection as I steel myself. Shi Yigang, the son of the head priest and priestess, is currently east of Lake Tai on Tiger Hill, tending to the magical array that is set up to seal the god. If we fail to execute the dragon god here, we will be able to seal him on Tiger Hill. The Shi family does indeed live up to their reputation for being the most formidable priests and priestesses in the Ning Kingdom. My father, the king, takes the incense from the head priest and bows reverently to the sacred ding. Even though we are far away from Tiger Hill, we can see the smoke rising from its fiery beacon, a sign that Yao is ready to seal off the god. There is no way for my father to withdraw from this battle.
龙神只能辅助，今日一事，关乎吴国社稷，寡人不能败。
The dragon god needs to die. We cannot afford to fail. For if we do, we will obliterate the kingdom of Ning. A sense of resolution can be seen on my father's expression. I take a deep breath, only to have my senses assaulted by the stench of rotten fish, which makes it hard to breathe. The putrid soil, withered reeds, and the smell of blood. Pull yourself together, Ting Yu. You are, after all, the royal princess of Ning, I quietly tell myself. Although Yi Gang and I are both 14 years old, he is already shouldering so many responsibilities, while I still have so much room to improve. The autumn offering ritual is beginning. Hey, our lead is 14 years old? That's, Does this... Oh, this probably happens in the future. Like, this is the bit that... Okay, cool. I'm just... I gotta catch up. Hold on. The priestesses start the ritualing chants. Like the smoke from burning incense, the sound of their chanting drifts away on the wind towards the lake. The head priest and priestess start dancing to the chants. Their long sleeves trail gracefully behind them like the wings of a white flight, with the fins of a fish. This is my first time seeing a transcendent fish dance. I am entranced. Chai gently tugs at my sleeve to make me realize that our two older brothers have already walked forwards, reaching into the ding and are now placing something onto their lips. its blood. Staring at the red, viscous liquid in the bronze ding, I feel a sense of dreaded apprehension in the pit of my stomach. I quickly touch some of the blood to my lips. That strange, greasy feeling still lingers on my fingertips. We summon the power of heaven to slay the dragon god, to be shining example of virtue. Okay, goodbye. Goodbye. Together with the crowd, I start to chant the words of our vow with a troubled heart. Slaying a god. What an insane notion. As we chant, bits of golden light float out of my father's body to merge with the golden beam of light that is emitting from the center of the bronze ding. Looking at myself and my 3 older brothers, it seems that we are in the same transcendent state as our father. As the head priest and priestess dance, the banners start to flutter in the wind. The golden beam pierces the dark clouds, breaking them apart to reveal a clear, bright autumn sky. A black arrow flies through the sky and lands at my father's feet. Over 100 black-robed priests surround the altar, and one who appears to be leading them is the previous head priest, Liege. Didn't he defect to another country many years ago?
无耻河驴，竟敢背叛历代巫王和龙神结下的神盟！
This is a lot for a visual novel. But it's also the beginning of a Chinese drama. So I don't hate it. I appreciate it. But you gotta be here for it if this is what you're here for. You're shameless, Hilo. How dare you betray the dragon god and break the sacred vow that your ancestors had kept with him?
既无成人得通天道，岂可再屈从此等鬼神妖物？
My ancestors and I had been following the righteous way of heaven when the dragon god deceived us. How can we submit to such a demonic monster any longer? Without any hesitation, my father draws his sword. At the altar, the black and white figures intertwine in the chaos to create a third color, red. One by one, young priestesses start falling into the men in the black robes, their beautiful faces and supple bodies. Okay. Breaking into pieces of meat. White flesh should be supple, though. As blood flows like water into the lake, I can hear rumbling sounds coming from all 4 corners of the lake, like that of a monster leaping out of water. This is the first time that I have ever laid eyes on the dragon god. This gigantic white creature is beautiful but terrifying. I stand motionlessly, unable to take my gaze off it. As I stand before this absolute power, I feel so insignificant. It feels like an offense. I am caught off guard when the head priestess pulls me away and into the bosoms of my older brothers before calling forth her magic swords of water. They miss me by the skin of my teeth as they fly towards the dragon god and pierce him. Qian shoots us a malicious glare. And I pick my ear really quick. Just really quick. Intense memories now.
今日就让你们见识见识真正的神威！
Today you will taste the divine power of the dragon god. He gives a long whistle, summoning tall columns of muddy water from the lake. In an instant, they rush at the head priest and my brothers, and all who are there to save them.
无限！
Made Shen. My father gives a roar of anguish that resounds in all directions as the phrase, "We failed to kill the dragon god," shrills repeatedly in my ears.
阖闾，你的子嗣俱亡，你死之前就好好品味品味这等绝望的滋味吧。
Hello, your sons are dead. Enjoy this taste of despair and defeat before you die. The dead bodies of my brothers are suspended by columns. Severed pinky hands of my feet. Which of my brothers did this belong to? I cannot endure it any more and throw up on the ground. Trying hard to contain her grief, the head priestess calls forth an ice blade that pierces through the sacred dang. In my state of semi-consciousness, I hear her call out,
请鼎魂，违我令，转阵为锋。
Spirit of the Ding, obey me. Capture the dragon. A bright white light emits out from the belly of the Ding and transforms into a large, ferocious tiger. It pins down the head of the dragon inside of the vessel and shatters it into tiny pieces. A terrifying dragon, like a dying fish, eyes on the altar twitching weakly and helplessly. Its colossal body quickly disintegrates, giving off the strong stain of rotting flesh.
神君，
My sovereign god. All of a sudden, Mage Shan furiously stabs a short blade into the back of the head priestess. And with that, the white tiger suddenly disappears. I stare mindlessly at the sacred ding as it gives off its last bit of golden light before absorbing the body inside of it. Mage Shan, like a madman, pounces towards it. Before my eyes, fresh red blood trails from the severed head as it lets out a hideous laugh.
背叛者的血脉必将众叛亲离，今日之恨必将千百倍还至你身。
The descendants of the betrayer will be cast out. This evil deed that you've done today will be avenged 1,000 times over.
国破家亡，灰飞烟灭。
Your nation will crumble, families will be torn apart, everything you treasure will be turned to ash. Saying this, Mage Shan's head explodes. Droplets of blood turn to blades as they fly. My mind turns white. The blades of blood fall short, less than a few inches away, as I unconsciously clutch the amulet with only one name on my lips. Liege. Chapter 1. We completed the prologue. How long did that take? Just out of curiosity. Hold on, let me. 20 minutes? Okay. So, we should be able to get through chapter 1, yeah? Liege. Hmm?
少君，
My liege. Ah! Shenfeng, is that you?
少君，您刚刚一直在呓语。
My liege, you were talking in your sleep again. My chest. The sacred seal that is on my chest is hurting terribly again. It hurts to the point that I can't even cry out. With trembling hands, I search for the thing that I need so desperately. Where is it? Where could it be?
少君，鱼在这里。
My liege, the jade fish is over here. Phew. I press the amulet to my chest as its icy coldness slowly eases the pain until it completely fades away. The pain is now replaced by a feeling of intense abhorrence. This vile sacred seal on my chest is proof of my detestable connection to the dragon god. Even now, with that monster sealed up on Tiger Hill, the vow that puts me in this situation has yet to be broken. This torturous pain that flares up whenever and wherever has caused me a lot of misery.
还未到5个。
The fifth watch has yet to arrive. When my loyal guard sees my pale and exhausted expression, he gently continues to wipe away my cold sweat. Although he and I are long used to these situations, what feels really out of place is the dream that I just had. It felt so real. We just dreamt about the incident that happened 5 years ago.
我在这里陪着你。
I am here with you. I give a bitter laugh. Shenfeng's loyalty is unquestionable, but we both know that this burden is mine alone to bear. Shenfeng, do you think that there is a problem with the seal? Could that be why the former king and our older siblings have entered our dreams, urging us to break the sacred vow as soon as possible?
只是因为先王忌日将近。
The only reason why you're having this dream is because the death anniversary of the former king is drawing nearer. Is that so?
施家咒力强大，余玉尚且能用，何况是凝结全族心血的封神阵？
Just take the jade fish, for example. If the amulet made by the Sheik clan is still effective against the sacred seal on your chest, then should not that seal that was made with blood, sweat, and tears of the entire clan be even more effective? Blood, sweat, and tears. Flesh and blood is more like it. Now help us bathe and change our clothes.
少君，昨日之事让你心忧至此，还是休朝为好。
My liege, I think it might be better for you to take a break today, as you were quite distressed by what happened yesterday. Are you saying that we are unable to handle the pesky envoy from Qi?
臣封不敢。
Shenfeng would not dare. Change our clothes. It's interesting that we're using the royal we, and I like it. I like it a lot. Shenfeng assists me as I walk up to the throne. Luckily, the curtains are closed, so no one can see how helpless their king is. Prime Minister, tell us, what is on today's agenda? Prime Minister?
启禀大王，武相国今日并未上朝。
Your Majesty, Prime Minister Wu is not in court today. Is he ill?
武相国昨日还精神奕奕地与臣争论，何病之有啊？
Yesterday, Prime Minister Wu was full of vigor as he debated with me. What kind of illness could he possibly have today? And does Minister Bo know the reason for the Prime Minister's absence?
这个臣不知。
This I do not know. Other than the death anniversary of his father and brothers, Wu Zishu has never missed a day of court. He comes in early every day to organize his reports and documents. That is why the other ministers have taken to calling him Prime Minister of the Fourth Watch behind his back. But now, it is already near the end of the Fifth Watch. I look towards Shenfeng, and he nods his head in acknowledgement and quietly takes his leave.
浩浩无都，竟然把相国都丢了，也难怪找不回敝国的小小史官了。
Huh. If you can lose your prime minister in your kingdom's capital, then it is no wonder why you can't find our low-ranking officer.
公孙乙，你区区一个齐国使臣，怎能随意闯进吴国朝堂？
How dare you intrude on the court of Ning?
是你们大王允诺，我可在姑苏城内外寻找我国失踪的随臣。
It was your king who agreed to let me search for my kingdom's missing officer in Gusu City.
大王，难道您这吴宫不在姑苏城内吗？
Your Majesty, isn't your court within Gusu City?
巧言令色。
Well, aren't you elegant? We understand that you have your duties to carry out, and this is why we have already sent our guards to search outside the city and the surrounding villages. So please, do not worry.
大王休要用这话打发我。
Your Majesty, you're only saying that to dismiss me.
史官明明就是在虎丘山下遭遇歹人失踪的，为何不准我等上山寻人？
Our archival officer obviously encountered some evil happenstance when he passed Tiger Hill, so why will you not let me search for him up there?
虎丘乃是吴国先王陵墓，岂能容你们这些外人造次？
The grave of the former king of Ning is up on Tiger Hill. We cannot let an outsider like yourself disturb it. How can we let an outsider like yourself disturb it?
既然是陵墓重地，怎么还会遇上蒙面歹徒呢？
How would he have encountered bandits if that is such an important place in your kingdom?
少来咄咄逼人，礼道何存
Being？ so persistent and be mindful of your manners.
怕是你们吴国失礼在先。
I'm afraid that it is the kingdom of Ning that drew first blood.
我公诚心诚意要与吴国结为兄弟之邦，才来与大王商议联姻之事。
It is my sincerest wish that the kingdoms of Ning and Qi become close allies, and that is why I approach your majesty on the topic of marriage.
没想到大王模棱两可，就这么一天天吊着我们。
I did not think that your majesty would be so non-committal in giving us a simple yes or no answer to the marriage proposal.
如今救人之事又推三阻四，这难道是你们吴国特有的待客之礼不成？
And now
又
your
叫我
majesty
齐
is
国
hindering our search.
如何敢来结盟？
And now your majesty is hindering our search to save lives by brushing us off with excuses. How can we possibly ally ourselves with the kingdom of Ning?
其使再三失礼于大王与吴国，大王还要忍到什么时候？
The envoy of Qi has been repeatedly rude to your majesty and to the kingdom of Ning. How long is your majesty going to endure this mistreatment? Gong Sun Yi, are you threatening us?
不敢，只是心中存疑，还望大王解惑。
I would not dare. I hope you understand that I am still very anxious. We also hope that you understand that when the envoys of Qi were granted an audience, we had no knowledge of the aforementioned archival officer. And now you would slight your kingdom's ally just to look for someone as insignificant as him. We've treated you and your men as distinguished guests, fed you the same food as we eat, and have even ignored the fact that you have intruded on our court. Yet you scorn and humiliate us in front of all our ministers and officers. How dare you, Gong Sun Yi? Before I can finish my sentence, everyone in the room has their hands on the hilts of their sword. Gong Sun Yi and his men take a few steps back in alarm. Gong Sun Yi recollects himself and bows to me with a hand-in-hand salute.
是外臣失礼了。
It is I, the foreign envoy, who is rude.
失踪史官乃我世教，盼大王宽宏大度，不计我情急之过。
The missing officer is a family friend, so I hope that your majesty would be gracious enough to forgive me for taking things too far.
然而，联姻事关两国邦交， 若不能完成我公交代给我的任务，还要让我公蒙羞，倒真不如一死谢罪。
Besides, if I were to fail in the mission that my liege has given me, of joining our two kingdoms through marriage, then I would be grateful for the death sentence you would order on me for being discourteous to you. Fine. It is only natural that your heart would be troubled when such situations arise. Just when the ministers are about to protest in anger, I raise my hand to stop them. It is pointless to allow this argument to become personal, and for us to become the laughingstock of the kingdom. Mr. Gongsun, in admiration for your loyalty, we will let you off this one time. But next time, we hope that you will be more discerning over what is more important.
多谢大王。
Thank you very much, Your Majesty. Actually, it is not that we are unwilling to marry your kingdom's princess, nor are we trying to make things difficult for you. It is yet to be 3 years since the former king died, and we had hoped to review the marriage proposal after his approaching death anniversary. Please rest at the guest house for the next 2 days, while we personally go to Tiger Hill to find your missing officer.
既然吴王承诺，外臣回去便是。但2日后，若还不能见到人，外臣就不得不亲自上山寻人了。
Since your majesty has made this promise to me, I will wait for your good news. But if in 2 days you are still unable to find my missing officer, I will have to go to Tiger Hill to personally look for him myself. Now, send Mr. Gongsun back to the guest house and attend to his open. I heave a sigh of relief as I see Gongsun Yi leave. My body crumples involuntarily where I sit. A pair of familiar hands steady me as a calm voice drifts into my ears.
上朝前，有白衣侍童拜访相国府，之后相国便随他匆匆出城了。
Before the court was called to session, an attendant in white paid a visit to the Prime Minister. After that, the Prime Minister had rushed out of the city. In white. Could it be someone from the temple on Tiger Hill?
相国确实是向城北而去。
The Prime Minister had indeed headed north. For the envoy of Qi to cause such an uproar over such a lowly official, we are afraid that there is more than meets the eye to this simple diplomatic relationship. Shenfeng, bring us back to our chamber to change our clothes. We want to look for the Prime Minister first.
诺， 少君的中衣都已湿透，还是留在宫里休息为妥。
My liege, your clothes are soaked in sweat. Please rest in the palace instead. If our clothes are wet, then all we need to do is change into dry ones. Help us change our clothes. I spread my arms in front of the mirror to reveal a pale, thin body with hard lines and scars from years of practicing martial arts. Yet I have the soft breasts of a woman. Look. This body has been ruined beyond recognition. There isn't an ounce of womanly features left. I am neither a princess nor a king. I am a monster.
吴国有了少君，才得以延续。
It is only because the kingdom of Ning has a liege that we can continue to exist. Is that so? Then why do I have to be humiliated like I was today, and keep wasting my energy on Gongsun Yi? Only a man can continue the family name. As long as I keep pretending to be a man, the kingdom of Ning can continue on for generations to come. And the other kingdoms would not dare trample on mine.
少君为王，不逊色于世间任何男儿。
My liege, as the king, you are not inferior to any man on earth. Really? Maybe so. But people are superficial, and would rather have a monster than a woman as their king.
少君何故这么轻贱自己？
My liege, why do you despise yourself so? Myself. I no longer have a sense of self. Perhaps we need to take a wife and have sons in a few months' time. Shenfang, do you think that the sacred seal on my chest has changed a bit of its color?
臣没有细看过。
I have never looked carefully at it. Forget it. Once it turns completely black, our death will be imminent.
使臣们已从各地寻来神器，积少成多，定能破除神盟。
The envoys have already acquired a few sacred artifacts from their various places. Soon we'll be able to break the sacred vow. Ah, those are just fakes, just like us.
大王，
Your Majesty! What is it?
相国派人送了信来。
The Prime Minister has sent you a message. Shenfang quickly steps out of the room, only to return with a tightly rolled piece of cloth. Read.
寂渺生变，速来虎丘。
There is a change at the temple. Come quickly to Tiger Hill. Prime Minister has good foresight. He knew that we would go searching for him.
恳请少君多保重，派陈封去见相国吧。
Please be cautious, my liege, and send me to see the Prime Minister in your stead. This is urgent. Prepare the carriage. The late coming spring grows grasses and trees lusciously green. Overhead the orioles sing, while winsome villagers tender shoots bring. I cannot admire this beautiful scenery before me, even though Changfeng did not prevent me from leaving the palace. I take a revitalizing pill just to be safe. The bitter taste that fills my mouth serves as a constant reminder that I need to protect this broken body. Suddenly, Shenfeng clutches the hilt of his sword. What is wrong?
守灵人的屋子那边围着士兵。
There are soldiers surrounding the caretaker's hut. Let's take a look.
大王，
Your Majesty. Has something happened over here?
武相国令我们在此看管守灵人勾践，他是杀人嫌犯。
Prime Minister Wu has ordered us to watch over the prisoner here in the caretaker's hut. He is suspected of murder. Murder? Murder means that someone is dead. Yeah, friend. Murder means someone's dead. For Wu Zishu to be so anxious, could the victim be the missing archival officer from the Kingdom of Qi? Or, as I push aside the soldier to go into the caretaker's hut, I hear a loud cry come from within.
是谁？
Who is it? Hearing the familiar voice, my mind, foggy from medication, suddenly becomes clear. I cannot go in as the King of Ning.
相国有令，不准和任何人交谈。
The Prime Minister has ordered that the prisoner not be allowed to talk to anyone.
任何人？难道兵大哥你不是人吗？
Aren't you someone then, Mr. Soldier?
他娘的！
Shut up. I hear the muffled sound of a heavy force hitting soft flesh. Stop. Everything goes silent inside the house. Although I do not want to rush headfirst into things, I cannot sit idly by and do nothing, right? Until we have all the details, no one is to treat the suspect so harshly.
诺。
Understood. The sound of galloping horses grows louder and louder behind me. I turn around to see a pair of fierce, majestic eyes looking right at me. A white-haired man reins in his horse and looks down at me from its back. Prime Minister. Wu Zishu greets me casually with a hand-on-hand salute. He takes a slanted sidelong glance at the crude stone house where Gaoxian is being held.
都到这时候了，少君还有心顾念那只白眼狼吗？
Is this the appropriate time for you to concern yourself with that vicious ingrate, my liege? You heard us. Gaoxian is still in the kingdom of Yu after all. Let's not go overboard.
他既已入吴为奴，就应该安守本分。
He lost the war to Ning and entered our kingdom as a slave. He should be treated like one. Wu Zishu hardens his expression and throws me unceremoniously onto the back of his horse. Prime Minister!
陈峰，跟上！
Shenfang, follow me. Wuji starts... Pardon me, coughing. Let me check the timing. Okay. Wu Zishu starts out in a gallop and he heads towards the temple at the top of the hill. He stretches out his thick arms to hold me firmly by the waist without the slightest intention of slowing down. Although he has always done as he likes, he would never let me come to any harm. I secretly let out a sigh as I lean my body up against his. The faint, disgusting stink of rotten fish wafts by. I notice then that Zishu's hand is stained with dried blood. Are you hurt?
这是大柱的血。
This is the blood of the head priest. Is that the reason why you left the city at dawn today?
大柱派人通知臣，有几位黑衣覆面的贼人闯入了祭庙禁地，臣不得已先行赶往祭庙，没能及时告知少君。
The head priest sent word to me that men dressed in black had snuck into the forbidden temple. I needed to rush there and did not have time to inform you, my liege. Men dressed in black. Could it be?
正是巫显一党的余孽。5年前，先王和臣将吴国各地的龙神信徒剿灭殆尽，已经很久没听到他们的消息了。
They are the survivors of the followers once led by Maid Shen. 5 years ago, the former king and I exterminated all the followers of the dragon god here in Ning. It has been a long while since I have last heard about anything.
如今，他们竟敢大摇大摆地侵入虎丘禁地，恐怕是为了被封印在内的龙神而来。
Since they had the audacity to enter the forbidden temple on Tiger Hill, they probably came for the dragon god who is sealed here. How did the intruders get past the guards on Tiger Hill and into the forbidden temple? What did the head priest say?
臣还在调查，大柱他受伤了。
I'm still investigating it. The head priest is injured. I feel a sharp pain in my chest as I recall the aftermath of the failed attempt to execute the dragon god, as well as the nightmare that I had this morning. The smell of blood is getting stronger as we get closer to the temple. Lying in front of the temple gates next to some trees are 2 corpses covered in hay. Shenfeng parts the hay to look underneath it. One of the men is dressed all in black and the other is just another warrior. The tattoos on the face of the man in black look almost identical to the sacred seal on my chest.
少君，
My liege. An elegant and delicate-looking youth steps out of the temple. It is the head priest, Zheng Dan. The linen that is wrapped around his wrist show traces of blood. He notices the direction of my gaze.
小伤，不碍事的，让少君
Nothing
担心了。
serious. I'm sorry to have worried you, my liege. Where is the centurion who was on duty last night? We need to punish him for neglecting his duties.
那群歹人是龙神信徒，善用妖法，又是半夜侵入，
也难怪守卫们没有察觉。
It would have been difficult for the guards to suspect a thing. The invaders were followers of the dragon god. They came in the middle of the night in a group and used magic to infiltrate Tiger Hill. A group?
有3个。
There were 3 of them.
凌晨时，我听到庙外传来一声凄厉尖叫，怕是什么鬼魅之物，便亲自出来查看。
I heard a scream before dawn broke, and fearing that some kind of evil was afoot, went out to investigate for myself.
没想到，看到3位黑衣人在围攻一位少年和一位武士。
It was then that I saw 3 men dressed in black assaulting a teenager and a warrior. Was it the warrior laying over there?
正是。武士当时为保护少年，已经受了致命伤，但人们听到动静就要逃跑，被我拦住了。
Yes. That warrior had been fatally wounded while trying to protect the teenager. Hearing the commotion, the invaders attempted to escape, but I stopped them. Even if you can use magic, the odds of winning 3 against 1, especially with hostages to consider, are not good.
少君教训的是，只是当时也没想那么多。
You have a point, my liege, but at that time I wasn't thinking clearly.
当我击杀了其中1个，才发现他们的来头。本打算留个活口，反倒被他们钻了空子。
It was only after I had killed one of them that I discovered who they were. I wanted to leave one alive, but they managed to find an opening.
剩下2个人带着那少年逃跑了。
The other 2 took the teenager and escaped.
大柱说那2人都受了伤，其中1个伤了腹部，还比较重。臣已经派人去追寻他们的踪迹了。
The head priest said that the 2 who escaped were injured. I have already sent people to track them down.
相国想得周到，这等血腥之事，我不想惊扰少君，才派人找来了相国。没想到相国给我说了齐国史官失踪一事。
Prime Minister Wu is very shrewd. I did not want to disturb my liege with such sanguinary matters, so I approached him instead. I was surprised when he told me about the missing archival officer from Key.
那武士的打扮与吴国士兵的不同，臣妄自揣测，被挟持的少年便是昨日失踪的齐国史官，武士是他的护卫。
The warrior's clothing is different than that of the Ning armies. I believe the king kidnapped teenager as the missing officer, and this warrior was his bodyguard. I carefully examined the warrior's armor to find that Wushu says. I have to admit his powers. It is as Wu Zishu says. I have to admit his powers of observation and deduction are very keen. These people must find the villains that Gung Sun Yi spoke of. Leaving aside the reason why they would kidnap someone from Qi, they are trying to infiltrate the Forbidden Temple. They must be attempting to undo the spell that has sealed the Dragon God.
我查看过陵墓附近，倒没有什么异状。
I searched around the mausoleum and found nothing suspicious. We would still feel better if we could see it for ourselves. Prime Minister, we want you to chase down the 2 intruders and rescue the archival officer.
臣会亲自去寻。
I will personally go and find him. Shenfei, we want you to help the Prime Minister.
诺。
Understood. Prime Minister, when you get back, we would like more details on why you think the King of Yu murdered someone.
诺。
Understood. There is a clear pond behind my royal father, Hilu's dedicated hall. Beside the pond is the hidden entrance to where the Dragon God is sealed. Looking at the sacred seal engraved on the stone tablet surrounding the pond, I involuntarily clutched the clothes covering my chest. The beautiful and magnificent pattern depicts the endless dark abyss that has swallowed up the countless souls of Ning's kings. I too am one step away from that abyss.
剑池没有入侵痕迹，又需少君和我协力才能开启。逆贼就算进到这里，也只能干瞪眼。
There are no signs that anyone has entered the sword pond. It takes 2 of us to open it, after all. so even if the invaders had come here, they would not be able to get in. We know that you have always been a cautious person, and so we are not just worried about what happened outside of the Sword Pond, but also over the chief culprit who is locked up inside.
查验风阵总是妥当些，还请少君自写。
I agree. I humbly ask my liege to please offer some of your blood. I make a small cut on my finger with a dagger and press the bloody tip against the seal engraved at the entrance. The same seal at the bottom of the pond starts to give off a faint red light. Jingdan casts a spell that magically drains the pool. When the seal turns completely red, the bottom of the stone pond transforms into 2 doors that slide apart to reveal a flight of steps leading downwards. I take a deep breath and smell the faint stink of rotten fish. I am unsure if the smell is coming from the outside of the temple or from my memory of that terrible experience that happened 5 years ago. We follow the steps down and enter a spacious hall at the bottom. And this is a naturally formed cave. In the middle of an altar that was carved out of the cave itself. The walls are covered with spells that glow a faint fluorescent blue. 3,000 sacred swords that give off a cold, blue light are staked into the ground around the altar in a tight formation. In the middle of the altar sits a large bronze vessel, the Ding of Virtue. This brings to mind the nightmare from earlier on. Makes the image of the dragon having its head crushed into the square vessel seem all too real.
自从5年前德鼎封了龙神精魂后，就一直散发着怨恨之气。加上池底阴寒，少君不能在这里耽搁太久。
Ever since the dragon god was sealed here 5 years ago, its resentment and hatred has infected the atmosphere to a great extent. Such a chilling air is not good for you, my liege, and you should not linger here for too long. Sure, we just want to look before we leave.
那我来为少君引路。
I understand. I will lead the way. Xingdan writes a spell in the air. The swords that are staked into the ground around the altar part to form a very narrow pathway. I approach the square ding and stroke it softly. Not only does the ding hold the resentment and hatred of the dragon god, it also holds that of my own feelings, and those who died. I walk halfway around the ding and am suddenly struck by something unusual on its surface. Head priest, can the ding be damaged by outside forces?
德鼎是天子与天道结盟时所入的盟书，有神力相护，历经100年依然如新，不会轻易破碎。
The Ding of Virtue is made from the sacred text and was created when the Emperor of Zhao and the heavenly gods formed their pact. It is protected by godlike powers and cannot be damaged. Look over here.
这是
This is... We both turn pale as we touch the crack on the ding. Although it is a very thin crack, it spans the entire belly of the ding, and its edges are turning black. Your nation will crumble, families will be torn apart. Everything you treasure will turn to ash and dust.
少君
My liege. This is not good, head priest. The sacred seal on our chest was acting up again this morning.
难怪少君气色不佳。
No wonder you look so pale, my liege. If it hadn't been for that, we would not have come to the bottom of this pond. The followers of the dragon god are active right now in this crack. Head priest, is the dragon god going to break free? Xingdan clutches my cold, clammy hands tightly. An unfamiliar, terrifying stillness descends upon us.
少君莫要吓唬自己。封神阵本来就是权宜之计，靠德鼎神力维持，经年累月，德鼎肯定有所损耗。
My liege, you are scaring yourself. This healing spell that was originally cast upon the dragon god had borrowed its power from the Ding itself, but it was only a means to an end. As the years passed, it is expected that the Ding is now worse for the wear.
我们只要抓紧时间，找到能诛灭龙神惊魂的神器，大定也就能功成身退了。
We only need to make the best use of our time and find a sacred artifact that will exterminate the soul of the dragon god. Then the sacred Ding will be as good as new. For the past 5 years, the former king and us have tirelessly searched for such an artifact, but have yet to find neither hide nor hair of one.
这座德鼎，也是先王屡次伐楚，流了多少血，破了多少城，千辛万苦才从楚国国都寻来的。
Even this Ding has survived much bloodshed and sacrifice. The former king faced innumerable hardships and perils to take it from the capital of Chu.
神器如果都那么容易被找到，还能叫神器吗？
If a sacred artifact is so easily found, can it still be called a sacred artifact? For the entirety of his life, the former king thought of nothing but of how to execute the dragon god, and he fought bloody battles to break the sacred vow. So how can we forget his unfulfilled wish so easily? I tenderly stroke the crack as my father's final moments come to mind all too vividly.
子胥，寡人的3个儿子都在太湖被龙神杀了，只剩了腾羽。
Zishu, our 3 sons were killed by the dragon god at Lake Tai. Teng Yu is the only one left.
这2年来，他都借着老三夫差的名义，由你教导。如今，寡人大限将至，这神蒙印也传到了他身上。吴国能否存续，就看你的了。
For the past 2 years, she has borrowed her 3rd brother's name, Fu Chai, and has been taught by you. Now that the sacred seal has also been passed on to her, and her life is coming to an end, the survival of the kingdom of Ning will now depend on you.
如果顺利过了继位这关，即可为腾羽秘密举办婚礼。
If she can successfully ascend the throne, then you are to hold a secret wedding ceremony for her immediately.
寻找神器、破神盟和延续吴国血脉这2件事，
We cannot stop
都
looking
不
for
能
a
耽
sacred
误。
artifact that will break the sacred vow, or allow our bloodline to come to an end.
姬吾祖先被龙神欺骗，代代吴王都被逼以自身魂魄为祭品。可总有些族人总觉得，只要满足他，就能永保安宁。
The dragon god deceived our ancestors, and since then every generation of kings has paid the price with their bodies and souls. But some people believe that as long as they satisfy the dragon god, they will be able to live on in peace and prosperity.
真是太蠢！
They are too naive.
阿玉，只有你能继承寡人的志向，子胥会帮你排除一切障碍。
You are the only one who can inherit our will. Zishu will help you remove all the obstacles in your way.
记住，只有用血把我们自己的命运夺回来，才叫天之正道。
Remember, only by using our blood can we take back our rightful destiny, and thus call it the righteous way of heaven.
必无忘仇，誓破神盟。
Forget not your revenge, and swear to break this sacred vow. We will forget not our revenge, and we swear to break this sacred vow. No matter what, we cannot let the dragon god escape and become a blight on the people of this kingdom.
我明白，但我曾听一言，
I
欲速
understand, but haste
则不达。
makes waste.
施家曾是吴越第一武，倾尽全族之力，才勉强封印住龙神的精魂。我们更要谨慎小心才是。
Powerful clan of mages in all of Ning and Yu, and even then it took the lives of the entire clan to seal the soul of the dragon god. We must be even more vigilant. So even if we worry ourselves to death over this whole affair, it will be all for naught?
虽然急，却到不了那个地步。
Even if it is urgent, we still have some time. We do not need to drive ourselves to our aforementioned deaths. Jingdan raises his eyebrow as his facial features finally relax. I don't know if he is trying to reassure me or if he is confident that everything will be well. We will persist in looking for a sacred artifact while we continue to rely on you to stabilize the sealing spell.
诺。
Understood.
不过，希望少君还答应我一件事。
But I hope that my liege will promise me one thing. What is it?
尽量少叹气，叹气呢，会将运气吹跑的。
Do try your best to sigh as little as possible. Sighing will just cause your luck to run out faster. Jingdan puts a finger to the corner of his lips as he gives a sly smile. I can't help but nod my head. I keep feeling a sharp stabbing pain in my chest and wonder if it is because of the cold that I feel from being at the bottom of the pool, at the pond.
少君，大柱。
Okay, we are gonna go ahead and save now if that's possible. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. How do we bring up... So you know when they were explaining... Ah, right click. It's right click. Save. Okay, we're good. We've saved. So there we go. That is my vow to my liege. That's the start of it anyways. That's prologue and half of the first chapter. There are, I think, 20 chapters. So yeah. You guys have a good day. Tell me if you like it. Bye-bye.